I find it amazing how gullible people are in this world, particularly within the United States of America. People are so gullible. You know, Adrian Broner says he don't feel any fighter can beat him. When he steps in that ring, he doesn't feel he can be beat. He can't see himself being beat. He can't be beat. And people eat that shit up. His fans, people that aren't his fans, average watchers, even some hardcore boxing fans eat that shit up. They truly believe that Adrian Broner cannot be beat. What? You ask me, I'll tell you, hasn't he already been beat at least once or twice in his early career? Even if you want to argue to the far extremes, if you want to push it to the edge, we can, if you respect the sport of boxing first before you respect any fighter, we can agree that he at least lost one fight already. Because if it's not the Ponce de Leon fight, then it's the Paulie Malignaggi fight. If it's not the Paulie Malignaggi fight, then it's the Quintero fight. One out of those three fights, Quintero, Ponce de Leon, and Malignaggi, Adrian Broner definitely lost. Okay? Now, the Ponce de Leon fight was close. Okay, so I'm not gonna I'm not gonna care much to argue that one. Malignaggi fight, it was close. I had Malignaggi winning. It was close. I wouldn't argue that one too much. Quintero fight I thought was pretty clear. So any fight you want to argue, let's agree that the man at least has one loss. Okay, he's had a couple gift decisions. That's neither here nor there. Everybody's shitting on the Maidana fight. Not everybody. A lot of people are shitting on the Maidana fight. You know, we don't want to see this fight. We know what's going to happen. Maidana's too slow. Broner's going to make easy work of him. Everybody's shitting on this fight. Even before the Malignaggi fight, people were shitting on this fight. Man, I don't get it. And where does this come from? Because if you look at Adrian Broner's performances, okay, his last two performances shows me no fucking way that Maidana is going to be easy work. Now that's just judging based off of what I've seen. And I'm not a psychic. Don't put a gun to my head, because Broner could come out looking totally different. And I hear he's already pissed about all the criticism he's getting from the Paulie Malignaggi fight. So he could come out a totally different looking fighter. After all, he's extremely athletic, and the kid seems to have versatility. He's one of them fighters that I think he could add things to his game, and he could alternate things in his game, and it wouldn't affect him so much as it would affect a guy that's a straight brawler, for an instance. Or a guy that's a straight pressure fighter and he only fights one way and only knows how to fight one way. Broner seems like he could add things to his game to improve. Okay, so don't get me wrong. He could make easy work of Maidana. But to just be shitting all over this fight, I mean, this dude's last two performances, for one, against Antonio DeMarco, he looked magnificent. But it's Antonio DeMarco. I mean, a guy that was beaten by Edwin Valero easily. Edwin Valero beat everybody. Rest in peace to him. Everybody that he faced, at least. But DeMarco was a hard puncher. That's all really I see, because a lot of times I've seen DeMarco lose in fights, and his power bailed him out. He's a very hard puncher, and he doesn't quit. He doesn't give up. Any round he's dangerous in. But that's about it. I mean, a guy stands up tall. What is he, 5'10"? He comes straight forward at you, throwing punches in a straight line. Now Gavin Reese had some speed against Broner. That particular fight, I've never seen Gavin Reese's hands go that fast. Against Broner, he had some hand speed. He was catching Broner to the body and to the face. Gavin Reese put hands on Broner. But Broner was the DeMarco in that fight. His power bailed him out, because Reese was winning rounds. And even the round where Broner, he turned it up a level, I remember Reese, showing some good defense, clowning around and shit like that with it, but he was making Broner miss. And he came back at the end of the round. Reese did some good things in that fight, man, but at the end of the day, he couldn't take the power of Broner. It's not like Broner outboxed the shit out of Reese. No, he couldn't take the power. Now, give or take, I know what I'll hear. Broner fought that way on purpose. Maybe to entertain the crowd. That's the way he fights, but he had to, some people say, I don't know what the fuck this means. He had to fight that way against a guy like Reese. Really? He had to fight that way? He couldn't show me more boxing skill? He had to fight that way. That walk me down, lean back behind my shoulder roll style. He had to do that. Okay. All right, no problem. We go to the next fight, Paulie Malignaggi. And Paulie put fucking hands on this man. If only he had hands of stone like Roberto Duran and not pillows. Now we come to Maidana, the fight that everybody's shitting on. Here's a fighter that has actually improved since he's went to the academy with Robert Garcia. Slightly improved, Maidana, one thing he's always been is he's been quick on his feet. So, put it this way. Maidana's no DeMarco. He's no Gavin Reese. He's no Paulie Malignaggi. He's Marcos Maidana. Okay? And what he lacks in hand speed, he almost makes up for in foot speed because the guy is quick. Okay? Even if he doesn't cut the ring off well all the time, he'll chase your ass around that ring and he'll get to you quick. He is very quick on his feet, Maidana. Now, another thing that Maidana has added, besides using his jab here and there, he's shortened up his punches a little bit. He's throwing his punches more straighter now. They're not as wide. These little fixtures to your game, they add speed. The reason I say they add speed is because you reach the target quicker. You shorten your punches. You're throwing it straight. You reach the target quicker. Automatically. Because you're not being so wide like you once were. So, Maidana's done a little... He's made some improvements in his game. I can notice that in a guy. For a guy that fought one way and was a very, very aggressive, reckless brawler, he's made improvements, and I've noticed that, and he's to be commended for that, because at least he's trying to expand his boxing career. He was open-minded to doing that, and I'm sure he worked hard on that, and so far with Garcia, he's had nothing but success. No losses yet under him. Adrian Broner is still a 140-pounder to me. I mean, I don't think he's a full-fledged welterweight. He might have the body size, but I don't think his power carries up to welterweight. I could be wrong, but I don't think his power will carry up to welterweight. Maidana's a much harder puncher. Might not be as hard as he was at 140, but he's a much harder puncher than Paulie Malignaggi and Gavin Reese. And probably Antonio DeMarco, maybe. Because DeMarco at lightweight, he's got power. But Maidana is a hard puncher. You get the point. I think his improvements are for the best. To go with those quick feet, shortened punches, straighter punches. And using the jab, because who knows? He may touch Broner a couple times with that jab. It's not like Broner is mobile. He's flat-footed. And he's got a wide stance. And until he shows me difference, that's what he is. He's a flat-footed, wide stance fighter that stands behind the Philly shell to walk you down. Okay? A lot of times he likes to lean back to avoid shots. He don't even always turn. In the DeMarco fight, he looked good because he was actually rolling like you're supposed to with that Philly shell dig, the way Mayweather do it. He was rolling and he was, picking off a lot of them shots. In the Gavin Reese fight, I'm like, where the fuck is the roll at? He's just standing, leaned back with that right hand protecting that chin. That's mostly what he's doing, and he's getting touched. And Malignaggi, he's getting touched. What makes you think Marcos Maidana can't back his ass into a fucking corner and land shots on him? He will. He will. He keeps saying Maidana is slow, but he's going to touch him at 147. He's going to touch him. And when he touches him, it's going to be interesting to see how the fight plays out. So, I have no problems with Adrian Broner facing Marcos Maidana next. I guess the point to this vid was all the nut huggers should get off Adrian Broner's nuts. Open your eyes to reality. And don't be so quick to judge this Maidana fight because he may lose. But of course, Al Heyman, Paulie said it best there, right? That's another fighter he's got in his back pocket on the Al Heyman circus show, right? I'm sure even Maidana fights his way to a legit draw or perhaps wins by a round or two. They'll still give it to Broner. And then your clowns will have something to argue about again. I'm out, man.